I remember Jerry Jones, before he fired Wade Phillips during the 2010 season, we heard over and over again, Jerry's never fired a coach during the season. He never will. And then he did. Is McCarthy in danger of getting fired during the bye week or at any point during this season? Do you think Jerry would do it again if it looks like the wheels have come off and it looks like they're not going to have a chance to blow it in the postseason like they have the last 3 years?
I've thought about this a lot in recent days, and I would normally say yes, but I think there's two reasons why it's a no, because the natural guy to take over as head coach, if they do fire Mike McCarthy, is Zimmer. And
wait. Hang on. My good friend, Mike Zimmer. That's how we refer to him on this program. Mine, not yours. My good friend, Mike Zimmer.
Mike Florio's good friend, Mike Zimmer, would be the natural guy to take over because of his head coaching experience. But that defense has not been good. So how do you give it to a guy whose unit is worse than the other guy's unit? I just don't know how you do that, first of all. And second of all, McCarthy's the play caller. And I know you could give that to Brian Schottenheimer and they'd probably be okay. But to me, it just creates too many problems. I think Mike McCarthy is going to finish the season as head coach of the Cowboys no matter what happens. And then they'll address the coaching job. Now, I'll say this. I don't know if they gave Mike McCarthy a real fair shot this year with what they did in the offseason. The GM did nothing to address this team. We've said this since the offseason. They are a worse team than they were, less talent than they ended last season with that loss to the Packers in the wild card round of the playoffs at home. They did nothing to improve this roster. They didn't do anything in free agency. So, Mike McCarthy was in the last year of his contract and had a lesser team and expected to do more. That's a tough assignment, Mike.
Well, when you act like the offseason begins on September 1, that's what you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
A couple of quick points. They do have another guy on the coaching staff who has interim head coaching experience. Special teams coordinator John Fossil was interim coach of the Rams after Jeff Fisher was fired. So at least if Jerry just can't take it anymore, he's got somebody other than my good friend Mike Zimmer to whom he could turn. So keep an eye on that. Secondly, and Michael Hawley and I were talking about this yesterday, Jerry's comments about how 78% of the people who responded to a WFAA poll said he's the one to blame. He said, that's fair. And as we talked it through and unpacked it, it dawned on me, where is Steven in all of this? Do you know? Like, I mean, if Jerry's lost his fastball, and again, we should all be so lucky that we live long enough to lose our fastballs. We should be lucky to have a fastball to lose in the first place. But if Jerry's just kind of getting to the point where he's not making good decisions, he's not really like running the team maybe the way that he has in the past, although current results don't differ all that much from the last 30 years. Where's Steven in all of this? And is Jerry taking the blame to protect Steven from scrutiny and criticism?
I think Jerry's taking the blame because that's what Jerry does. Jerry has the title. Jerry wants the title. Jerry wants the blame. Jerry wants the credit. He wants all of that. He wants to be the face of the Cowboys, and he is the face of the Cowboys. So I don't think it has anything to do with Steven. But to your point, I do think Steven is to blame. I mean, he's co-owner of the Cowboys, and he's there, and he makes decisions. And as you pointed out, he's the guy that talked Jerry out of drafting Johnny Manziel and into drafting Zach Martin, which obviously proved to be a great draft pick and a great decision that Stephen Jones made. But he's got to take some of the blame as well for things that have gone wrong over the last year, for some of the things that have happened, that they haven't been to the NFC Championship game or won a Super Bowl since 1995. So he does do that. It was interesting, Mike. I was driving to the game on Sunday, and there's a sign on a fence, and I still need to get a picture of it. But as you approach the stadium, there's a sign on the side of the fence, a huge one, and it's got a picture of Jerry with a big line through it, a red line through it, and it says, I think, fire the owner or fire something along those, sell the team, something along those lines. But I've never seen that before, where people have actually put this out there. So it's out there, and people are living, and people are mad, and they're frustrated, and I have never seen a fan base. You know, grew up a Cowboys fan, and I've lived here since 1999. I haven't seen a fan base like this. Like, they've always bought into, we're contenders, we have a chance to win the Super Bowl every single year, whether they do or they don't. It seems like that's what happens here. And I haven't seen that this year. Even after the win over the Browns, I expected the people to be excited about this team and think, oh, we have a chance to win the Super Bowl. It didn't happen. People don't believe in this team. They don't believe in Mike McCarthy. They don't believe in Dak Prescott. They've lost total faith in this team. They still support them for the most part, but I just haven't seen anything like this where they're so down on the Cowboys, and they are.
Well, and the basic reality of being a fan, an ardent fan, short for fanatic of an NFL team, the only way that the Cowboys fans can collectively demonstrate their discontent with Jerry Jones, because frankly, he would just take that as another little wrinkle in the ultimate reality show. It makes it a little more compelling if you got the fans coming after the owner, because now we get another storyline. I was watching the McMahon documentary on Netflix that just dropped yesterday. Sorry, Peacock, but there are other things out there that we do watch from time to time, although we do recommend Peacock. Every episode of The Office, by the way, exclusively on Peacock. Trying to make sure I get my check this month. But McMahon was a master at, now look, well documented. There were a lot of things wrong with Vince McMahon, but he was a master at seizing whatever came his way and turning it into a storyline. Jerry's the same way. Like, if they would ever, remember when the Lions were just horrible, it wasn't all that long ago, and they were having the Millen Man March, remember that? They wanted to get rid of Matt Millen. They wanted to get rid of ownership. You can't get rid of ownership. Jerry takes the blame because there's no accountability. It's very easy to take responsibility when there's zero accountability. Yeah. And I think that Jerry would lean into it because nobody's going to make him sell that team. And no fans are going to collectively deprive themselves of their enjoyment of going to Cowboys games, watching Cowboys games, and affecting the bottom line sufficiently to get Jerry Jones or Stephen Jones to say, we just better sell the team because we can't make any more money off of this team. That'll never happen.
No, it's never going to happen, Mike. And that's reality. It's Jerry's team. And after that, it's going to go to the family, to Charlotte and Jerry Jr., and Stephen will be in charge of this team, and that's the way it's going to be forever. So Cowboys fans are going to have to live with that, or they're going to have to find a new team, one or the other. And you're right. They're going to continue to go to the game. I mean, look at the crowd sizes that they have. And a lot of it, frankly, the last 2 weeks there's been a ton of visiting fans at those games the last 2 weeks, surprisingly. Visiting fans there, but they do sell out the stadium. They do make money. People are buying concessions, $75 to park, all those things. All that money goes to Jerry. And so they're raking in the money. They're not raking in the wins, but they are raking in the money.
You had made the point that a ton of Saints fans were there for the Week 2 game. I'll be curious to see Week 6. How much of it is going to be Cowboys, Blue Star, Blue? How much Honolulu Blue is going to be in that stadium because those Lions fans, I saw it last year in Kansas City. Yeah. Holy crap, do they travel now? Honolulu Blue takeover of AT&T Stadium, I predict, is coming up very soon. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.